Missoula, Bozeman, Helena, Billings, and more are all facing millions of dollars in a budget shortfall, leaving them in a narrow path going forward. The loss of ESSER funds, federal money that provided the state with nearly $600 million, as well as rising inflationary costs that's outpacing the amount of money the schools are receiving. The state superintendent said the schools were always warned that the ESSER funds wouldn't last.
So if they are complaining or they are saying there's a budget deficit or however large it would be, that's a local issue.
Arnson said that while the districts had responsibility with how they use the ESSER funds, they are dealing with less students, which means less money coming into schools. According to Arnson, this year saw a loss of 2,000 students enrolled in public schools.
The majority of our funding formula is based on student enrollment. If the enrollment declines, the state dollars will decline.
I asked her what solutions there are to this problem. She said one problem is how often the state assesses school funding, which happens every 10 years. Instead, she proposes we look at it every year, but that change could only be made through state legislation. The next decennial study of school funding is happening next year, during which a council will assess if the state's funding formula needs to be changed.
I believe we need to look at this rather than 10 years. We need to look at this in much more real time.
Arnson told me that she's putting together a working group to review the current formula for school funding. After that, the group will put together a roadmap for legislatures on what they can do so schools aren't put into this position again.
I want to give the legislature an idea of where we are, but also give them some voices from Montana of where they want to be.
Reporting in studio, Bowen West, NBC Montana.